So I've been asked by many people, as in one person, to make a how to drive a manual transmission video. So that's what I'm gonna do. Driving a manual transmission car is honestly not that difficult if your goal is to get from point A to point B. And that's what I'm gonna be focusing on today, because there's a lot of nuances to driving standard that you can listen to, but it'll get you from point A to point B no matter what. There's like half-hour videos on YouTube that explain all those, but I want to keep it short. Just explain how to get moving and stay moving. And that's pretty much it. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to start by doing this stationary, just so I can show you all the stuff. I'm doing it with no shoes on, so hopefully you can see the pedals. Let's assume that the car's on and it's running. And right now I'm in neutral. Depending on your car, you might have a 5-speed or a 6-speed. Those are the two most standard types of manual transmissions. Mine's a 5-speed, so I have 5 gears. Wow, that's pretty cool. If you want to start from a stop, you need to turn the handbrake down. There's no parking brake in a manual transmission. You use the handbrake. Put it down, make sure you have the brake pushed in with your foot. Handbrake down. I'm going to keep it up for now so I don't roll off the side of the parking lot. And so you want to start moving. What do you do first? You need to shift into first gear. Makes sense, right? First gear to start moving. You should be pushing in the brake right now and just push in the clutch. That's the pedal all the way on the left. Shift into first. But you can't just lay your foot off the clutch like that, because then you're going to stall. To start moving, clutch in, first gear. When I first started starting out, I would rev the engine to about maybe, let's say, 2,000 RPMs, 2,000 revolutions per minute. And you can find that on your tachometer in case if you didn't know. In an automatic tachometer, kind of useless. Manual, it's your best friend. So look at the tachometer, rev it to about 2,000 RPM. And then slowly take your foot off the clutch until you feel a bite. And by bite, I mean you feel like a little rumbling in the car, or it starts to move a little bit. That's when you know that the clutch is about to engage. There's a little dead space when it's, oh, there goes my camera. Camera's fixed. As I was saying, there's a little bit of dead space between when the clutch bites and when it's all the way pushed in, okay? So you need to find, it's going to be different in every car where that biting point is. You know, some cars it's right really close to all the way in, and sometimes you have to put it out a bit before you feel a bite. So just knowing where that biting, that friction point, the bite point is, that will take time. Just to recap, how to start from a stop, and that's probably going to be one of the most difficult things you will do besides starting on a hill. So let's do it again. Clutch in, first gear, take my foot off the brake, rev it up to 2,000. Let's pretend I'm at 2,000. Slowly, once I hear the bite point, I continue giving it gas. I don't want to stop giving it gas. I'm going to continue giving it gas, and then I'm going to switch. All right, left foot, and then a little bit of gas, feel the bite, right foot puts more gas, and then you're done. And once you get a little bit better at this, then it'll be in, and you kind of do it at the same time, and then you're good. Once you start moving, what are you going to do when you want to shift gears? Shifting gears, upshifting at least, so going from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, that's a lot easier than starting. Let's say I'm going, and I want to speed up, so I'm going, let's say 20 miles an hour in second gear, which is kind of fast. You know what, let's say 15 miles an hour in second gear. And I want to shift to third once I hit 20 miles an hour. So I hit 20 miles an hour, my tachometer's at 2,500, let's say, and I want to shift to third. All I'm going to do is take my foot off the gas, because you do not want to leave your foot on the gas while the clutch is in. Because when you do that, you rev the engine, because the engine is no longer attached to your transmission, well, it's no longer sending power to the wheels. It is just running. Clutch in, take your foot off the gas so you don't spike up the revs, and then you shift. So let's say I'm in second, I want to shift to third. Gas, clutch in, gas off, move to third, clutch out, back to gas. Okay? And it's a lot more forgiving when you're moving, when you're upshifting. It is a lot more forgiving. You know, if you do a bad shift, you won't stall. You might feel it a little bit, you might shake a little bit, but you won't stall while you're moving. And that is literally all you need to know to get from point A to point B. Clutch in, shift, clutch out, gas. All right. I'm in first, I'm starting, boom, I'm going, I want to shift to second, boom, third, boom. And you just do that through all the gears until you're getting to a satisfied speed. In my opinion, it is helpful to understand what a manual transmission is, why you're doing what you're doing, how the gears work. That's my personal opinion. That made it a little easier for me. And I guess I'll just give you a really basic rundown. So the engine in an automatic, the automatic transmission does the shifting for you. In a manual, you have to do it yourself. But you can't shift gears while the transmission is attached to the engine. When gear on gear is happening and you try to take it away or put it in, it's going to grind the gears. So that's why we have the clutch. The clutch separates gears from the engine for a tiny bit. You shift into a different gear, and then you take the clutch off. And why are you shifting gears, might you ask? Well, the engine can only go so fast. You know, the red line is as fast as the engine, or at least the company that made your car is allowing the engine to go. Once you get to that point, you need to change to a smaller gear that will go faster but have less torque. What is torque? Well, your low gears will have more torque. That is, think of it as the ability for something to climb a hill. That's not a very good analogy because torque is really the force that from a distance at an angle, you know, like a torque wrench. I'm not very good at explaining it. I'm not an engineer. But if you think of it in the sense of the car, that if you want to go up a hill, you need to be in a lower gear for more torque. If you want to go faster, you need to be in a smaller gear because a smaller gear will spin faster than a big gear. So that's why first is the biggest gear, fifth or sixth is the smallest, depending on your car. Yeah, that's that. I'll try to drive around, show you guys some in-context driving. It might not go well. My cameras might fall over. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. So let's go second gear, all right? And my camera already fell. Fan-freaking-tastic. You never ever want to take out the clutch too fast, because then, you know what will happen? You break your clutch and you're sad. Camera's gone. Cool. So there you have it. Really, really basic, really general overview. A lot of information I missed, but that comes with time. You either figure it out or you watch a longer video. It's a lot harder to teach someone on YouTube than it is in real life, so the best way to learn is to have someone in the car with you telling you how to do it. But I hope that I was at least a little bit helpful. I tried to be really basic with it. Sorry I couldn't get much driving footage. What a failure. This is such a big fail. I do not have the proper equipment to drive while filming because apparently duct tape does not work very well for keeping your cameras upright. Who knew? E-Tan guy here, teaching you how to drive. Be safe. don't crash, please. That would make me feel really sad.